Yo, JD here, Tyrol Lewis, and as you can see here today, we're back on F1 2016, and we're going to let all the cars past in the Ferrari, and I will be using a default setup, so there's no setup that has been added to this, because David Greco, one of the developers there, confirmed that the AI are using default setup. So default setup in the Ferrari around China, just to see what I could do really, and this video is really also going to be talking about just hopefully answering a few of your guys' most common questions that I'm getting quite a lot in the comments recently, and you may notice I haven't really been responding to too many. That's because I've been really busy recently with full-time work and just other things as well, but hopefully I can clear up quite a few frequently asked questions that get asked quite a bit. And if you've got anything you want to ask me, then put it in the comment section. I will be answering all your questions in the comments. I'll do my best to answer it best as I can. If there's people asking more than the same question, I'll just be answering just the same question, one of the same question, so you can see it down below. So the most common thing that has been asked of me is, am I using a wheel or controller? I'm using a controller, a pad, and the settings I use on that is just completely default. So I don't change anything, I just plug it in. I'm playing on the Xbox One, if you didn't know. So Xbox One, just a normal wireless controller, what I use. Nothing fancy, not a scuff controller, not a modified controller or anything. It's just a completely just normal stock standard controller, and the settings, I haven't changed anything, so it's just the analog one. So if you go on the settings, it's just completely default, so there's nothing I've changed in the button layout or anything at all. So a lot of people ask me for wheel settings. I don't use a wheel so I'm not the right person to ask. The best person to probably ask on that is Tim at Marduk, Arava, or Noble 2909. Them three are probably the biggest wheel users on F1, the most commonly recognised ones. So best to probably ask them if you want advice on wheel settings, because I wouldn't have a clue. In terms of setups, I've been asked quite a bit. Do I use my time trial setups in the race? So the setups I've been using in my set videos, do I use that online? Yes, I do. I don't change it at all because it's quick over one lap, and why would I change it? In my opinion, in this game, there's no such thing as a tyre wear saving setup. There's things that can make it more comfortable for you, make it easier to drive, but in terms of the tyre wear, that's really down to you. That's really how much wheel spin, how many times you're locking up. If you can avoid locking up and you may be able to see through this video here of how I'm driving very easy on the throttle. Try not to slide the car, try not to do any lockups or wheel spin unnecessarily, which you may have to drive a little bit slower per lap, but it will just make it that bit easier. It will make it easier when your tyre wear does go off. It will just make it easier for you to drive. So there's nothing I actually change in my setups at all. My time trial setups are exactly what I use online, and they've been working really well for me. At the moment, I haven't put on a different setup at all. They've been working really well, really quick. Tyre wear, it's just down to how much wheel spin. If you're doing donuts or really spinning up the rear tyres quite a bit for your throttle controls, particularly if you're using no assist, then you're going to be punished, and it will wear out your tyres quicker if you do that. But for me, I try to keep it in lean quite a bit through the corners, and then just rich on the straights. I very rarely go and rich throughout the corners most of the time, unless I'm on like my first lap of new tyres and want to set a quicker lap or my quicker lap or anything like that. That's when I'll typically tend to do it. So you can see here, going into here, no real lockups in this, just really thinking about trail braking, just trying to save the tyres as much as possible, and that's what I do in the race, and it's been working really well for me. Do I use different setups in the wet? Yes, I do. My wet driving score, I typically use 11.9, but everything else is pretty similar for me. If the suspension and the alignment geometry, I've really found like a sweet spot for me, which you'll be able to see my latest video, latest setup video, Abu Dhabi. That's like my most up-to-date setup that I'm using currently at the moment. It just gives me really good traction, really good responsiveness. I think wings, high downforce are really important on this game. You can get away with like 4.3 or 5.4, maybe tracks like Azerbaijan and Belgium and maybe even Bahrain and stuff like that. But for most tracks, it's going to be 7.6 or like 7.5 or 8.6, 8.7, that kind of range. I think going 9 and above, maybe only at Monaco and Singapore would be the only exceptions for me. Where you'd really want to be going above 8 on the front wing would be those tracks. But apart from that, I think you'll be losing a little bit too much time on the straight, because you can gain a lot of time on someone on the straight, and the slipstream on this game is pretty powerful. So I've been racing against people online in sprint mode lobbies who I can definitely tell that they're running a lot lower wings than me, just to maybe how they're setting up the car. They're really, really quick in the straight. Like even when I'm in their slipstream, I'm actually not really gaining on them, but through the corners they just get absolutely dominated. And if as soon as you get ahead of someone, and then it's pretty much game over if you've got higher wings than them. And it saves your tyres, and it reduces the braking distance because you better traction. It's not a win-win apart from just a straight line speed, but straight line speed is not as important as the cornering speed in this game. Definitely of that. A few other questions as well that we're getting is about the post-patch, which I'm currently playing on now. So this is post-patch, and I don't really read too much into the notes, but just giving you my general feel of how the game has actually changed. And for me, it seems to be that there's more traction. Not necessarily more traction, but just a lot easier to drive on the traction. My lap times haven't really been going that much quicker, maybe a tenth here and there, but that may be me just getting used to the game more. But the times seem to be fairly similar to what they were before. It just feels, definitely easier on traction. The car's definitely not as oversteery going through the gears, which has brought a lot of people closer together. So for me, the car feels pretty nice to drive still. I think sometimes that at times before the pre-patch, the car was definitely harder on traction, but it was just a bit too unpredictable when you actually go lose the car. So now you can be a lot more consistent. As you may notice through this, on these laps, you'll be able to see a race director end of this race. I did a 38.5 4 laps in a row on this. I think on this lap I'm still doing that as well. So 38.5 4 laps in a row, and that just proving the consistency is on point, and that's what I like. I like being consistent, and that's what I felt with the pre-patch, the first build on this. It was just really hard to be consistent because the car was squiggling about when at other times you're doing the same pressure and same amount of throttle input. Sometimes it would step out and other times it didn't, so it's a bit inconsistent, but now it definitely seems more consistent. With assists, no assists, what I think is quicker? I think assists are quicker. I think medium traction is quicker by 2 to 3 tenths, maybe even more, if depending how you are used to it. ABS on is definitely quicker. You can brake a lot later, and you can still move the car around under braking as well. So I think assists on are quicker with medium traction. With full traction is slower than medium, and with no traction as well. But I always use no assists because that's how I've always just played games. Never really used assists, only for the first part of 2012 when I was new to F1 games, but I turned them off pretty quickly, and I've been using no assists ever since. Also as well, I've been asking quite a few things about how I learnt no assists, what's the best advice for learning it. And for me, my experience, the first racing game I really ever played seriously was PGR4. And if you ever played that game, there was no assist to put on, apart from the automatic, apart from the gearbox change it from manual to automatic. Apart from that, there was no braking or ABS or like traction control or anything. And some of the cars were absolutely insane to drive on traction, like the Ultimate Aero TT, if you ever played the game, was insane on traction. You had that wet weather, you had snow weather, ice. Sometimes it was just actually impossible to get on the throttle, and that's what's really helped me transition to F1 games. That game didn't even have a racing line, so you couldn't even put on a racing line even if you wanted to, so it forced you to learn the tracks, and there was a lot more tracks. So it was over like 70 tracks or something on PGR4, which you could put in reverse as well, so and all different weather conditions and stuff. So compared to the 1920 you've got in here, you always had that triple amount of tracks you had on PGR4. So racing out of line has been pretty bog standard for me and race games. My advice would be is just to turn the assists off. That's the best way to do it. It's just go into time trial or sprint mode, which I pretty much did all the time in 2012 when I was learning it. Sprint mode, you know, it's not a league, official league. You're racing against other people you don't know as well. You know, it's 5-lap races, 3-lap races, really short races, and that just, you know, you're flowing through the tracks. Like the tracks are switching every single time you finish a race. You're going through the whole calendar, like random tracks, random weather stuff at times as well. Actually, no, it might be unclear, but you know, you're flicking through the tracks all the time. That's just a really good way to learn the lines, the braking points, and just get comfortable with it. And plus, tyre wears on as well in sprint races on this game anyway. So that would be my advice: is just to turn it off completely, and that would be your best way to actually learn it. And for me, that's what I did. There's nothing I would say to turn off first, really. If you want to learn no assist and you want to actually fully, if you're thinking about fully turning off for good, then turn it off straight away. That would be my number one advice for this. And a few questions as well about the wheel and pads, what I actually think is quicker or not, which could be quite a controversial subject. And for me, I really don't know. If someone had a gun to my head, I would say probably the controller is better in high speed direction changes. So at Maggotts and Beckett's at Suzuka, the first sector, tracks like this, maybe like the middle sector of this track as well, high speed. I feel the wheels got the upper hand in the slow speed corners, just comparing the speeds compared to other people on the wheel and just watching their footage and stuff. Well, it seems the slow speed, the wheel is really good, which is confirmed by the Monaco leaderboard, which you can clearly see on there. But overall, I think it's really close. It's pretty much almost impossible to tell which one's quicker. But for me, I'm not really bothered. I'm not really going to get into that kind of argument or anything like that. I think they're really close, and as long as you can stay with drivers who are using different controller inputs, then that's fine for me. As long as it's not like a half-second difference or anything more than that, then I don't really mind which one's quick or not. But from my experience and just watching footage of other people as well and racing other people, it seems the controller is better at high speed, direction changes with the same setup, and then lower speed and on traction, it seems the wheel is better. And you know, as I said, I really don't mind as long as they're pretty close together in terms of speed. I really don't mind at all. And a lot of people ask me, going back to the tips and stuff again, of just how to learn the tips and stuff, or turning off the assists and stuff like that. I will be doing a lot more videos than that. I will be doing a tip series, which I did in F1 2015, because this game, there's a lot you can really talk about. How I would recommend using traction control off and learning gears, and then just going a lot more detail into tracks, so just like 10-minute videos and stuff like that as well. So I'm trying to think what other common questions really. I think mainly it was about my pad settings and if I can use setups online, different wet setups, with the assist, no assist, the pad versus wheel, that kind of stuff as well. Would I be joining leagues? AWA has been officially released today, the sign-ups. I'm kind of holding back at the moment. There's a few things I'm just unsure of, which will make me really join the league. But once some further details are confirmed, then I'd really like to definitely be a part of that again. And also the post-patch at the moment seems to be bring a few little connection issues with lobbies more than 16 people or 20 people or so. Seems to be a little bit dodgy, but most of the time, my connection's good at the moment, but most of the time it seems to be okay. But I think anything more than 16 at the moment seems to be a little bit dodgy on the connection. But I'm hoping to get back into league racing again. Definitely, I've recorded a couple of career mode episodes already, so they should definitely be coming out this week. Something I'm looking forward to uploading. Hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. So that is pretty much it. The questions that I've been getting commonly asked quite most, just really wanted to address, and just showing you this gameplay as well, which I will leave to the end of the race. Just cutting it to the end of the race just to show you some good overtakes there, some good consistency with the default setup in the Ferrari, just showing you what you can do. So I hope you did find that entertaining. So if you've got any more questions you want to ask me, put it in the comments and I will answer them. I'll do the best I can to answer them. If someone asks, if two people ask the same question, then I will just answer it with one of them, and then hopefully other people can see that as well. So thank you so much for the support recently. We're closing in on 14,000 subscribers now. That's just insane, considering I was on like 10,000 like in July or something like that. So that's absolutely insane. Thank you so much for the support recently. Hopefully you're enjoying the game. Ask me if you want to down below, and I will catch you next time. Cheers.
You make me love Got me falling right back. Get in the door, silent walk was the first to speak. Speaking like a real freak.